So this one's going to be again about the ideas.ted.com article that we went through yesterday, which is all about things that people should have known before. Basically. Yeah. And it is quite a great article, which is quite, I'm used to it by the ideas.ted.com website, because it is a really great website, and those articles are pretty great, especially because they are just, pretty short, but I'm, always talking about the same shit when it comes to those articles. And also, when I'm talking about the jamesclear.com website, they are great. They are just great. There's nothing to be said more than they are great. But yeah, I hope you're doing well. I'm doing fucking well. I'm just pretty fucking pumped to be here on this fucking episode, to do this fucking episode. Especially because I've been just really productive this day, which is something that I deeply like. There's nothing that I hate more than just laying around all day long, unless I'm just ill, or unless I'm not feeling good, or unless I've just done a lot of things the day before and I'm just feeling really exhausted and whatsoever. Then it is okay for me. But if it is not the case, I'm just really feeling pissed. I'm really feeling sad and bad and whatsoever when I'm not doing something. It is just amazing. I need to do something quite all the fucking time. But yeah, as I've mentioned, we will just go ahead with the article, and yeah, I think it's just going to be a pretty great one from this point on. So yeah, that's pretty much it, I guess. Without losing any time, let's go ahead with the fifth point, because actually yesterday we have started with the fourth one, and there are, if I remember correctly, 11. Yeah, there are 11. And yeah, I'm just going to read the fifth one. So the fifth one is, although you may look different from your peers, you have just as much value. Which is, I'm just reading it. So I wish I had known how difficult this was going to be. Mine is a profession without many indigenous people. In Zimbabwe and in most countries in Africa, the conservation field, especially wildlife conservation, is predominantly white. You'll go to a meeting about lions or something like that, and you're the only black person there, or there are just a few of you. Sometimes you just feel so alone. Whenever this happens, I always remind myself that the reason I am in the meeting, or in this meeting, is because I have an important role to play, and I will do my best to contribute. I would say to someone who is starting a career in whatever field and experience something similar, that they should focus on why they are there and the bigger picture, and not on how they look, including the color of their skin, not only just in terms of the clothes they're wearing, if they are wearing a suit or actually not. It is crucial to focus on the similarities and the goal that brought you together, and not on the differences. We should always keep in mind the contributions we can make and the impact and difference we can bring. And most importantly, we should never be afraid of speaking up, which is very important, the last one. And this one is from Morangles Pizza, I hope I pronounced it correctly, who is a lion conservationist, which is something that I actually do not know what it is. A person who advocates or acts for the protection or preservation of the environment and wildlife, which is incredibly great. I like those people that are actually trying to do something, that are trying to actually, change the world, change some behavior in the world, and whatsoever. But, I think what he's talking about there is just really important, because I would say that people in general often do focus on the things that are not good and that are bad and that are just not running as smoothly as they should, maybe. And, we all should actually focus way more on the good things, on the good sides of life, on the positive aspects, on these things that are good, as well as the similarities and not the differences. What I've seen there, even though it is, I do have just enough empathy to understand how he might be feeling, but I can't just, I can't just really feel this way, or I can't just really kind of see the world as he's seeing it, because I definitely understand that he's feeling alone sometimes, only because of his skin color. Because, well, yeah, when there are only white people and you're the only black one, well, if you're focusing on it, and if you focus on just you being different than all the other people, then of course you're gonna feel different, and of course you're gonna feel maybe bad even. And this is not so good, obviously. But yeah, I believe that this just could be something that, might fuck with you. So if you're a black person and if you're just, or well, Asian, or if you just look different than all the other people around you, I think it's rather something good, because, well, you are not average. And being average is some of the things that you should not be, as I've learned from Seth Godin actually, because, well, we always go for just the non-average things. If you just, if you're a boss and if you're just hiring someone, you will definitely not hire the average person. You will hire the person that is the best at what this person should be doing. Or if you're buying a product, you're not buying the most mediocre product. You're going to buy the best product if you can, or if you're willing to buy the best product. And so on. So often just we actually choose the non-average. We choose the maximum, the minimum, something that's really not average. That's on the edge of something, on the edge of being colorful, on the edge of being just pricey, on the edge of being environmental friendly, and on the edge of being whatever. And we actually never ever choose something that is average. Still, a lot of people just, well, are average, or kinda, well, behave average, I would say. So don't please be average. But if you want to hear more on this, I would just totally suggest you to go through some of Seth Godin's blog. What is wrong today? Blog posts, or he's actually launched a podcast as well, which is called Akimbo. It's a pretty great one. He's talking there about various kind of things, and it is just a really incredibly good podcast, at least at my point of view. It really is amazing. It really is. So yeah, the sixth one. Let's go ahead with the sixth one. But before I go ahead with the sixth one, just check this out. Just beneath me. Beneath me, there is now a fucking slider with my fucking Instagram posts. Even though, they all are pretty old ones. They are Instagram posts, which is great. And there might be some subscribing kind of thing as well, and some Twitter kind of thing as well, and some Facebook kind of thing. Even though I think it's only going to be just the subscribe button, and maybe also just some link or some kind of just implementation of the podcast itself could also be a thing. I think we're going to work on this just after the episode, I guess. But yeah, I like it. I really like it, because now I do just have some reason for why there is some space beneath me. Because there I can just put all the, ads. They are not ads. Yeah, okay, they are ads to some degree, which is great for me, because I can use the space. The space is not pretty much unnecessary and whatsoever. The sixth one is look past your doubts. I think it's actually a silent B. I think it's doubts and not like that, which is also just written or spelled with a B, but you do not just pronounce the B actually. But yeah. So it's tempting to say a lot of things, but I know it is not true. It's tempting to say a lot of things, but I know it's not true. Because if I knew how challenging it is, I would have started. In a way, it is better not to know. I wish I knew I could lean on myself and my capabilities to grow and learn, to go beyond the doubts of myself and others, to believe that I can lead my own company. The other day, my company was meeting with these examiners for a grant that I was applying for. It was a 4-hour presentation that I did for someone who has supported us for a few years. At the end, an examiner in front of the entire team doubted if I should be the CEO of the company. And this just stop there. This must just feel so incredibly bad. You're just having a fucking company. You're this fucking CEO of a company for probably quite some years, I guess. And then some motherfucker comes up to you during a meeting in front of all the motherfucking people there and says, should you really be the CEO of this company? Should you really be leading this company? Should you really be doing what you're doing or what you have been doing for quite some time now, this must just really feel awkward. But I also do just have to say, well, this person there, what the fuck is happening? The person there just, what is he thinking? Or what is she thinking? Well, like, I don't know. There just it really comes up to the tonality this person used and also the words this person used and how he structured or how she actually structured the sentence and, a lot of other factors. But in the end, it is a pretty tough thing to say, especially in front of other people. Like in a just, 2-by-2 conversation or just only with the CEO, well, it is, I think, totally okay to maybe say that, even though, like, it also comes up to the position the other person is in. Like, if you're the CEO and I don't actually know what an examiner is. What is an examiner? A university examiner, the accounts are checked by an independent examiner, a tester, a questioner, interviewer, assessor, marker, inspector. Well, I don't know. Like, I do not know which position an examiner is in, like if it is just a really high position or if it's just a really low position. But the CEO is definitely the highest position there is in a fucking company. And if somebody is coming up to you who is really not in a position of actually saying something like this to you, especially not in front of other people, well, how much of it can you actually believe in? Well, like, just would you actually kind of think about what this person said? Because this person is in a position that is so insignificant. Even though, I do just have to say, if you're the CEO of a company and someone in your company, whether it be just some manager, whether it be just the fucking internship guy that is only there or that has been there for 2 fucking days, if one of these say that something is going wrong in the company or something is going on in the company that is not good, or they don't like a certain way something is, or whatever, I guess we should always listen to these people. But as an outside person, I assume, I don't actually know, well, they have been working together for several years, okay, I understand this, but it is still an outside person. And, well, it often just really comes up to the jockey and not to the fucking horse. The horse being the message and the jockey being the person who actually sends out the message. It's the same thing as if I would teach you something about leading a company without me ever led a company. Like, I've never ever just led a company, so therefore I wouldn't talk about it. Or, at least I could talk about it, but nobody should actually care about what I'm saying. So this is actually the point that I'm trying to make. So the other day, my company, okay, I've read that. So this is something that I wouldn't have been said if I weren't a woman. Wait. So this is something that wouldn't have been said if I weren't a woman. Now it gets really crazy. It is important to support women like me and others in order to grow. Anything that can be done to support female-headed startups and help women succeed is really valuable. And I still don't fucking get it why those motherfucking piece of shits actually do just have to, well, I do also have to say, this woman, could just put herself into just a victim position. Like, okay, this person said it only because I'm a woman, blah, 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 blah. This could also be the case, But I'm still just really not coping with the fact that just women get fucking paid less just because of their fucking gender. It doesn't make any fucking sense. To some degree, okay, I've been talking about it in yesterday's episode as well. To some degree, okay, they can get pregnant and they can just not be there for the company then, and the company has to pay for them and whatever, blah, 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 blah. Still, not every fucking woman wants to just be fucking pregnant. Not every woman wants to have children. So what? So fucking what? Why do just fucking women get paid less than men are? Especially because they just work the fucking same amount of hours. They just work the same hard. They work just as hard as every fucking man is. I guess, those people should actually get paid less that are actually not working as much or not as efficient or something. And they shouldn't be judged by their fucking gender. It doesn't make any fucking sense. We have in fucking 2020 or nearly, it shouldn't be a thing. It should really not be a thing. But it is really important to actually support those women, at my point of view. So this is from Editel Ila, a sustainability designer, and the TED Talk would have been Design Innovation in Israel. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm really sorry. Have I actually mentioned? No, there was actually no TED Talk mentioned in the fifth point. Or at the fifth point? Never mind. But I still don't get it. It should definitely be something that should change. It should definitely change. It really should. The seventh one is you need to come up with your own definition of success. It is hard for me to think of myself as a successful woman in the workplace. But then I realized that's what I wish I knew. You define your success. There are no accomplishments that will satisfy you and make you feel like you have arrived. I always strive for more because that is how my brain is wired. You need to learn to look at what you have accomplished and perceive it as success, even if you still feel the same impulse to do better and do more. The measure of success is you. It is not the recognition you may get, the position you may hold, or how much money you might make. Well, there I have to say it totally comes up to how you actually define success for you. For some people, success is actually having a healthy family. For some people, success is just making a lot of money. For some people, success, and I hope these are actually a lot of people, is happiness and being happy and feeling good and just feeling well in your body, feeling well with the life you're having, just feeling well and being happy. And something that Gary Vee is actually always or often spreading actually is that happiness should actually be the new money. And I also believe in this. At my point of view, happiness and well-being should definitely be the new money. And by the new money, I think, and he thinks that striving for it, because so many people are striving for money. They want to have more money. They want to generate money. It is all about money, especially all those people that are hitting you up on Instagram, talking about some trading shit. It is only about money. It is only about just some quick money, get rich, quick scheme, which won't work just anyway. It won't work. There is no fucking shortcut. For sure, you can be just lucky and win in the lottery, but chances are pretty high that you're actually going to lose that money pretty fucking fast. Especially if you're spending it on some dumb shit you don't need, especially if you just want to impress some other people. This is just really dumb. You should not do this because it's costing you a lot of money. This one is actually from Federica Bianco, an urban astrophysicist. What is an urban It's actually an astrophysicist. Physicist. Okay. Pretty tough words. And by the way, this is my Instagram account. Follow it, please. Thank you. It is at Walch Christopher, everything written together. I do post 8 times a day, so there's always going to be some content to look at. At the moment, I'm actually only posting videos because they work better, because they really work better. It has never been a case for me to actually get on the Explore page with a picture of mine or with a picture that I've done, some artwork that I've done or whatsoever. With videos, it is nearly the fact or the case for every singular one, which is amazing, which really is amazing. I do hope that I am able to reach a lot of people to get across my message. Just follow it. All the links should also be down in the description. I hope, at least. No, they should be. They should definitely be. I'm pretty fucking pumped to be here in this fucking episode. And I'm just really feeling good as well. I know sometimes in some episodes, especially the second episode often, I really don't feel good. And this should not be the case. I'm not doing the episodes to not feel good. I'm really doing the episodes to spread my message, to work on something that matters, to do something that matters, and to create change, or at least trying to create change and to create something for the people that, to entertain them, to just give them value, to just give them some knowledge, to just, give away something. But something that's a little bit bothering me is that my cable is a really short today, and I'm a little bit feared that I'm just fucking everything up. The 8th one is success will come and go, and that's okay. I wish I knew that success isn't a goal. It is more of a stage or a feeling. You become successful, then you don't, and then you do again. It is not permanent, and there is no shame in it fizzling away, then making a reappearance. In fact, that is the norm. My career did change, but what impacts my vision more is how much my understanding and awareness of the surrounding elements shapes how I perceive it. Which is from Aman Mohammed, a photojournalist, and the TED Talk would have been The Courage to Tell a Hidden Story. It really sounds amazing, this TED Talk. Maybe you should just check it out as well. I think all the episodes the TED team has done or has filmed or has made or whatsoever are also available as a podcast version, which is enormously great for those people that want to save a little bit time and be maybe even more efficient with their time and actually kind of consume that or get the information while doing something else. This is, I think, the best point about podcasts because, you can just consume them wherever you are and whatever you're doing. Sometimes I think it's just better or just smarter to do them. I always kind of wonder why people are sitting in their cars with headphones. They have just wired headphones. Most of the time I'm seeing them with just some Apple earpods. I do not know why. Maybe it's just something that I focus on, something that I see, but I don't know, it could actually be some phenomenon as well. I don't know. But I always see it and I quite found it, pretty much funny because don't you have some just loudspeakers in your fucking car that you could just use to listen to whatever you're listening to? Unless it is something, unless they're actually talking to somebody on the phone, like calling somebody or whatsoever, I think then it totally makes sense. But if not, I'm not judging, there are so many various reasons why somebody would actually do this. Maybe because the loudspeakers are broken, maybe because the loudspeakers are just way too loud, and when you're actually kind of turning them down, then you're not able to hear anything any longer, which I can assume that, it might be the case for somebody. But success will definitely come and go. And it definitely comes up to how you view it and what your definition is of success as well. If your definition of success is happiness, then of course on some days you're going to be more happy. On some days you're not going to be happy because something happened. But this as well always comes up to perspective as well. If you just always focus on the bad things, for sure you're not going to be happy. And if you are not grateful for what you have, you're also not going to be happy. If you're always just willing to have more, if you're always seeking something different than you're having, of course I think you're not going to be happy, just not at least all the time. For example, if you're like, okay, I want to eat something like this and that, and I'm angry because I do not have this to eat because I want to have this, and you at home only have that, which is some potatoes maybe, because times are bad. Could be the case. Times are bad. There are only potatoes. You can only eat potatoes. And then you can be like, okay, it is fucking fucked up because I can only eat potatoes. Or you think it in a different way, like, okay, some people have nothing to eat. And I should be fucking grateful that I can just eat some potatoes. Potatoes, might be something you like, might be something you don't like, but it is definitely better than having nothing to eat. Nothing. Completely nothing. It's always about perspective, I would say. It really is. I think it really is a great factor for being happy or to being happy. The 9th one, and maybe I would actually like to go through the whole one. So the 9th one is, it is not just the big leaps that count. And I'm going to show you. I wish I knew about the power of small steps making big changes. Any ambitious goal is broken down into small steps, and sometimes you need to take the first step to see these. Sometimes you need to take the first step to see the next one. Sometimes you even need to take take a step back. For example, taking a lesser paying job that will help you grow as a professional and have more opportunities. From Olga Yurkova, journalist and editor, and the TED Talk would have been, or still is, Inside the Fight Against Russia's Fake News Empire. And I guess it is really pronounced Yurkova. Something like this. I just assume, yeah. But it really is, there I'm really thinking about compound interest. Like, okay, just doing small steps at a time, and those small steps just together as a compound thing are gonna be a huge fucking thing. They're gonna be just amazing. They're just gonna be big. They're just gonna be great. Yeah. The 10th one is dreams take their own time. Dreams fueled by a desire to do good, have a way of breaking through. Like a seed bursting out and finding cracks in the concrete to reach the light. There are no deadlines to materialize dreams. They take their own time and shape, so relax and focus only on doing the deep work and nothing else. Also, you cannot see the wider possibilities of your work yet. There is so much to discover. Do not limit yourself by having concrete goals. Enjoy the process of discovery. And I would, which is actually from Anita Doron, who is a filmmaker. And I think it's totally right. Often it is, totally about the process and not about the goal itself or achieving the goal whatsoever. Something that I actually have to remind myself on way more often, because often I'm just only thinking about numbers. I'm only thinking about just having the goal in mind, but I'm not enjoying the process, just because, I'm only focusing on the big thing. I'm not just present, maybe, could say that. But if the process is good, if you like the process, if I just like being here, if I like doing the episodes, if I'm happy doing the episodes, just going through some articles there and here, without actually mentioning, without seeing the big goal of getting successful with my YouTube channel, getting successful with the podcast that I'm making, getting successful with the post that I'm just, posting every single day, and only focusing on the process, I think this is not as stressful as actually always just thinking about the process, always kind of, seeing what there might be or might not be. We've actually gone to the last one, which is you can always start a new journey. This is going to be an amazing one. I'm just feeling this right now. So I started working in films so late. I was 26. It is a career that in developed countries, kids who were in elementary school, middle school, high school had more experience than a person like me, who grew up in China. I didn't know how to use a camera when I was 26, and a 6-year-old or a 16-year-old was more tech savvy. Is it savvy? It is SAVVY. Much will depend on his political savvy, shrewdness, astuteness, sharp-wittedness, sharpness, acuteness, acumen, So for a while I had a sense of not knowing if it was even possible to be a career. I wish I knew that it is possible. If there is someone like me who is intermediate to pursue a career like mine, I would tell them that it is not too late to start. My hope is to always remind myself that if one day I don't want to do this anymore and I want to quit, that I will have the courage to start something new again, whether I'm 50 or 60. To take a new journey, I find something else that I like. So to take a new journey, if I find something else that I like, which is from Nanfu Wang, who is a documentary filmmaker. And it is totally amazing because I've also seen on one post, which was actually I think 2 days ago, on Instagram actually, that there was a person, the post was like, okay, what is your excuse? And one of the persons said, or one of these people there commented, I'm 29 or 35 or something. Which definitely is not old. It is not old. Being 35 is really not old. I'm still a fucking baby, I'm fucking 18 years old. By the way, I'm just really happy that I'm starting this journey, or I have started this journey quite a year ago when I was 17, because it just gives me an additional year, which is a lot, If I would have started today, the progress I would just have made to make the progress from today on, for example. Which definitely is another story than actually having 1 year of progress just, underneath your fucking ass somehow, if you can say that. I don't fucking know. I don't mind. But yeah, this person said like, okay, I'm 35. This is my excuse, I can't do something any longer. I can't just start something new from this point on, which is not true. Like, people are going to retire with 60 years, I guess, 70 years, 80 years. I might actually retire when I'm fucking 90, which is not something bad, because when you're doing something that is actually making you happy, something that you just like, something that you're passionate about, I think is totally fine. It's totally okay. But the problem that I'm seeing there is that a lot of people are not doing something that is making them happy. They are not really doing something that is just nice for them, that they are passionate about. They just do something for the money. They just do something because they've done it for the past 30 years. Well, I don't know. I'm not in this position. I really not. And I do not have to make the decision, fortunately, because it must be just a pretty fucked up decision. Especially, if you're just starting a new career, you're not going to earn as much as in your past career, just because you have been in this just company, you have been in this job for just so many fucking years. You're just earning more. But you can, and I guess your happiness until you fucking die is a little bit more worth than just making additional, even especially if I think about, okay, you're gonna make some, let's say you're 50 and you're starting a new career, you're going to make less money for the first 3 to 5 to 10 years, I would say. And then you're 60, and then probabilities are there, and the chances are there that you're actually then making more money than you would have ever made in your past career, in the career you had before. It is totally possible. Like, why not? Especially if it is something that you're so passionate about, something that is just really your passion. It is your passion. Then, probabilities and the chance is pretty high at my point of view. But yeah, this is it with the episode. I do hope that you've enjoyed it. I do get a little dizzy. I'm just going to eat something now, afterwards actually. And yeah, I wish you the best. I thank you very much for listening and watching, and I see you the next time. And please remind yourself on how you're gonna be remembered, your legacy. Still we can't let everyone like us. There are only some selected people that we are serving with whatever we are doing. I'll see you.